I feel really excited. Like I feel stoked that it's finally happening. I've been talking about it for years, so to be doing it feels great. I'm nervous, but not like, but I also have no expectations. I don't know. I'm just kind of like, all right. I'm sure after it, I'll be able to process it better. But I feel excited.
For most of your career, you've worked in groups, either writing songs for a band or collaborating with people. And I know writing a solo album is still not necessarily a solo project. What has that experience been like, working on something that's just yours? Is it freeing, or does it add a different kind of pressure?
Yeah, it's both those things. It starts, I think the thought of it always is like this, oh, I can just do whatever I want, freedom to kind of just explore. And I think that's
really no
important,
parameters, can do whatever I like. Yeah,
exactly. And that is always appealing. I think that's why you see so many people leave groups and do that. And I think everyone should explore their own creativity for sure. I think that, I do definitely like, sometimes too much freedom is too much, if that makes sense. I loved being in the group where you kind of bounce ideas, that sometimes if somebody comes with an idea and I might be like, oh, I'm not sure. But then we do it and it's like, oh, that's amazing. I wouldn't have thought to do that. I think that's what the benefit of a group has been. And you kind of carry the weight together. You collectively have the wins. And, I think that's what's interesting about, solo artists. Like, I've never had to answer, like, how are you going to feel when this album comes out? Because, whether there's something in a group, whether something's good or bad, you kind of have it together. So it never feels like you're wearing it. You know what I mean? It's a different feeling.
How would you describe your songwriting approach? What are you hoping when you sit down and write a song, when you sit down and write something, what are you hoping to do with that song? How are you hoping to connect with it and have others connect with it?
Songwriting's always been like my way of like processing things with God, whether that be a song for Jesus or whether it's a song about life. It's always been my kind of, that was how I learned to pray in a lot of ways. A lot of it's just like in some ways a journal of my conversations with God, but then also just like just worship, to be honest. Like it's how I kind of bring praise to God. And so I kind of have my hope for the project really is that it just connects people to Jesus. And there's songs on there that I heard churches sing. And yeah, this one I've definitely been more intentional about making. I've been really focused. I had a producer on the record called Jason Ingram, who's incredible. He was with me by the whole time, just kind of continuing to direct me towards like, hey, this is a worship record. Like this is for Jesus. This is for people to connect with Jesus. This is for churches. And so that was kind of like we did put parameters on the creativity in a lot of ways for it to be that.
I would love to know, Aodhan, someone who's written a lot of and been involved in a lot of my favorite worship songs. What's your favorite worship song of all time? And I would also like to know if it's weird to worship along to songs that you've written too, or if that's totally normal. But also what your favorite worship song is of all time. Pick one.
I don't really listen to my own songs. When I'm singing them, in front of people and on stage and at church and stuff, it's worship for me, because that has been my worship. So man, my favorite worship song, there's so many. I think a lot of the songs that I would say are my favorite are the ones that were a part of my like salvation, like those early stages, like a lot of the old Hillsong United stuff, From the Inside Out, None But Jesus, Here I Am to Worship, stuff like that. I Could Sing of Your Love Forever. Those songs were so formative for me and my faith, and so I still find myself always coming back to that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to think that you've written songs now that is that experience for other people. Like that will be their salvation songs and the songs that really mean something to them. So it's funny how that comes full circle. I love your new single, Without You. I would describe it, it's like a perfect driving through like a misty forest kind of song. Like it's very atmospheric. I can just see someone like worshiping to it like on a drive while it's raining or something like that. What's your heart behind the song?
I love that you said that, by the way, because to be honest, like visually, that's how I see it too.
Cool.
For me, like that was a song like really formative for this record, because it's the story of like me trusting God and asking Him to like light the way to go before me. It was a song that I wrote just before I moved to America and took like the leap of faith to kind of pursue my own thing. That was like the first song and kind of prayer that I wrote. Like, God, I don't want to do this if you're not in it. Like if you're not in it. And so it's a really special song to me, and like a song that I think I'll come back to that for the rest of my life as like a reference point for like trusting God, to be honest. So
do you have a song on the record that you're most excited for people to hear? Do you have a favorite?
There's so many. That's the hardest question you ever asked me.
I know. That's why I'm asking the real tough, gnarly questions. What's your favorite?
Okay, right now maybe a song called Time, which is a song with Lauren Daigle. That song as well, similar to Without You, kind of like it's a song based out of Ecclesiastes 3, which is, he makes everything beautiful in his time. And like the timing of even this record for me, and I've felt for years that I wanted to do this. It's taken me longer than I thought it would. There's been so many twists and turns, but I feel like this feels like the perfect time. That song is, to be honest, like affirmation of that for me in a lot of ways. So, or validation, sorry. Her voice is insane. Like, she's just unbelievable, it's crazy. So I'm so honored that she's a part of it. I'm excited for that.
Did you actually get to work with her in person? Is it all done remote these days?
There's a lot of features on the record, and we did it all like in person. So that's awesome. That was a song. Yeah, that was a song that we wrote for her record a few years ago, but we never finished. And then when it came to doing my record, I kind of revisited it, and I invited her to the studio one night to just listen through the other stuff that I've been doing. And I played her that. She's like, I need to sing this like right now. So I need to sing this right now.
Right now, so let me warm up. Let's get on to it. Yeah.
It was actually like that. Like we weren't even. I didn't think we had a microphone set up or anything like that. She was like, oh, I didn't do it right now. And it was like 2:00 in the morning, and she sung it and took the song to another level. Like she literally has one of the best voices I've ever heard. So yeah, it was insane.